Hey, welcome to Module 3, Content Pattern Analysis. This is the deep dive on Phase 2, studying what actually works in each community. So you've got the map now. What are you going to post? So by the end of this module, you'll have a systematic approach to studying any community and understanding exactly what content succeeds there. So why do the patterns matter? Let me explain. Reddit isn't one platform, it's thousands of micro communities. Each has its own culture. What might work really well in startups might get you banned in entrepreneur, right? A meme that goes viral in one subreddit could get downvoted to oblivion in another, right? It's kind of obvious. You can't guess your way through this. But the good news is the patterns are right there. Top posts, comments, upvotes, it's all public data. You just have to look, right? Study the patterns, match the patterns and make them get the results. All right, so let me show you exactly what to look for. So the first thing to study is the format. So go to any subreddit that you've already found on your map and sort that by top posts of this month, this year, all time. And what do you see, right? Is it text posts or are they link posts? Are the top posts long text posts or shorter ones? Are there any external links? Are they allowing it? Some may even favor, they used to favor links, not so much anymore, but some prefer them. Know what you're dealing with, right? Long versus short. If you're posting in a subreddit and it's like read the rules, you can't post a link, you can't post, it has to be whatever it is. There are a lot of different rules in the different subreddits, so make sure you understand them. Okay, is it long? Is it short? Is it detailed? Is it a huge breakdown or is it a quick punchy question? Right? Some love the depth and some reward if it's just shorter, right? Do they like stories? Do they like guides? Is it a here's what happened to me or here's how to do this? Think listicles, right? AI loves listicles, full of questions, full of paragraphs, full of things that people have to have an answer to. Okay, so questions, are they questions that are being asked, um, or are people making statements, right? So what do the top posts have in common, right? That's what you're looking for. Are they questions? Are they just making statements? And you have to see which one drives the most engagement. Okay, sometimes questions drive more engagement, but not everywhere. Sometimes a statement will. This is what worked for me. That generally does very, very well in most subreddits, right? So write down what you see because you're building a template for what works. Okay, the next is how the people talk. There are certain rules in different subreddits where you have to post certain words, certain letters. The OP, for example, or whatever the jargon is in that subreddit, and it varies wildly from subreddit to subreddit, and you need to match the room. The technical jargon, is it more of a casual conversation? In programming you can throw around technical terms, obviously. In entrepreneur it's got to be more plain English. For example, is it first person versus third person? Is it I tried this, or here's a study that you know that did whatever it is. Personal experience, I found, outperforms abstract analysis, but it really does depend on the community, right? And then there's the tone, right? So different subreddits. Wall Street Bets, for example, is a subreddit which has got a completely different tone than personal finance, and you need to match it, right? So read the comments, not just the posts. That's really where the conversations are happening. Okay, the comments show you the actual vocabulary that people are using. If they use the same similar words, right, use them back at them. And this is how you sound like you belong on subreddits. And finally, engagement, right? So what makes people engage, right? You want to look at the posts with the most comments, not just upvotes, comments. What do they have in common? Ask the AI to analyze what this post, which has gone viral, which is the most whatever upvoted one or commented one, analyze the comments and explain why. And AI will do that really, really well, right? But you should obviously be doing this yourself and going through it with AI, having AI help you. That's the whole point of this. Have AI help along the way, not do everything. Once you've got it doing that, then it can pretty much do most of the work, but you do need to understand how it all works yourself before you can properly train it, right? So you want to find, the questions that spark discussions. Which questions drive the engagement? Is it what's your biggest struggle with project management, or here's my guide to overcoming, overcoming founder burnout, or whatever it might be, right? Controversial takes. Some communities love debate, right? Slightly controversial opinion will get people fired up, but you have to be careful. Don't be inflammatory. You have to keep it civil. There's a very fine line between engaging and inflammatory in this case. So, requests for help. That tends to be big in so many subreddits where people are looking for anything. For example, Chrome extensions, help with content creation, WordPress plugins, whatever it might be. Okay, so requests for help are big in some subreddits, and people they they like to share their expertise, right? So when people ask for help on a certain subject and someone has that expertise, everyone wants to be the smart one in the room. And then you want to take into account the type of posts that also often resonate with people are posts that put you in a vulnerable position, you know, admitting a struggle to something or a failure of something. I messed this up, but here's what I learned. Okay, will always outperform. Here's my perfect success story. Okay, people aren't interested in that. They want to know how you failed, how you got out of that, because that's life. People are failing every day, all day long. As long as other people are failing and getting out of that same failure, that will resonate much more with the fake pretense of here is the perfect success story. Okay, so putting all of this into practice, you want to pick a community from your map, sort the top posts of this month, study the top 20 posts, right? For each one, note the format, the language, the engagement triggers, and put together some sort of a cheat sheet for that community. Do this with AI, right? The result, have that cheat sheet ready for each community. That's what you want, right? So that when you go to post, you're not guessing, you're matching the patterns of that community. Do this for your top 3 to 5 communities right now before you ever write any kind of content. This is going to be research that really pays off. Okay, so before we move on to module 4, this is the exercise. It shouldn't take longer than 60 minutes. So you got to pick 3 communities from the map, right? From your list, your map, right? Start with the ones that are the most relevant. Sort the posts by the top posts of the month and get the top 20 ready. Then analyze those 20 posts, format, the language, the tone, engagement, triggers. Spend a few minutes on each community. Then build your cheat sheet, right? Summarize what's working in this community. What works is this. Spend 5 minutes on each community. Once you've got your whole pattern library, you can move on to module 4, which is presence building. And that's when you'll learn how to contribute before you promote.